afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whomever you're doing. This is the Antisocial Hour show. I am your antisocial, and I am here today to bring you a really cool guest who not only do I know and love, but you will know and love him pretty damn soon. I even knew and love his parents, so there.
Yeah.
Today we have Mr. Scotty Meltzer from Comedy Industries. Welcome, Scotty.
Hey, hey, hi, antisocial. Good to see you. Also, hi, Kat.
Good to be seen. Yes, my other, and I'm still Kathy B. So,
Okay.
so yeah. In fact, we just finished. We just had a broadcast of a Pearl Jam drama. We're gonna
Oh,
re-edit
fun.
that for fanciness. That was pretty fun. Um, this year we're talking to a lot of. We're get season two's coming up of the Antisocial Hour, and we're gonna be on regular TV too, not just on YouTube. So that's kind
Oh
of cool.
boy.
Yeah, kind of cool.
What is regular TV nowadays?
Oh, streaming services. We won't name the
Yeah.
names yet because we want to make
Yeah.
sure the contracts are signed first.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're going on the streaming services and so you can watch whenever, however, whoever, under whatever blanket with whomever
Hmm.
you're blanketing. Uh, so Scotty, people in the world who have no idea who you
Hmm.
are idiots. They need to see, they need to see you. They need to see you and tell me a little bit about like where do people see you?
I'm a comedy juggler, and I've been doing it my whole adult life. Most of the shows that I do are with a partner, Katrina Spang Hansen, and most of them are corporate. So most of the time you can't see us unless you happen to be at the convention we're performing at, in which case you can see us over and over and over again in
Like
whatever booth,
CES and NAB and all those big
all those
monster
things. Yeah,
corporation things. If it
exactly.
has a big convention center, you're likely
We're
gonna know
there.
what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. When you were itty bitty Scotty, when you were
Hmm.
like a little baby Scotty boy,
Yeah.
did you say, I think I'll be a juggler when I grow up?
Not at all, but I did always know that if there was an audience, I wanted to be in front of it and not in it. That
What
was
made you decide that?
the memory is probably from like 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that, being at a national park and the ranger is giving a speech, giving a little presentation. We're all sitting on benches, and I go, I'm on the wrong side. I should be up there. That's where I want to be. So I was always aware of that. Um, I did not intend to go into certainly not comedy,
Mhm.
and certainly not juggling until much later.
Well,
I was a little kid dancer and a little kid singer in bad children's theater.
did
Um,
people think you were a gay child growing up? The
I
little gay
did.
boy. You did.
I assumed I would be. Well, I assumed I'd be bi because
Uh-huh.
just because the numbers are better. Why cut out half the
Instead of 50-50, you got
exactly,
80-20.
exactly, and
That's
and
better.
and that was a really true thing because, at 13, 14, 15, I was, horny as all get out. And,
That seems strange.
and yeah, and any sort of sexual contact was very hard to find for me at 13, 14, 15. So the idea that I would turn down anybody seemed ridiculous. And again, I was in theater, so it was not an uncomfortable thing, the idea of being gay. Being called gay in school was a little uncomfortable, and I was all the time, of course, because I was a dancer
Yeah.
and like
Now,
that, and
when you
because
were a little boy, did you go to dancing school then?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
tap mostly, and I
shuffleball
was the
change
worst
kick.
one. Yeah, step shuffle ball change kick, exactly, and I was clearly the worst one of my group, but I was a boy, so I
Uh-huh.
got cast in everything, because they needed boys, and it was me and Charlie McGowan who became relatively famous as a tap dancer. He was quite good. And Mark Smith, we went to the Benny Smith Academy of Dance, and so Mark
Was
was
Mark Smith
Benny's son.
related to Betty Smith in some
Yeah,
way?
Mark was Benny's son, and so we were sort of the three boys who were in everything, and they were just so much better than me. And so at one point, I remember in a show, a director saying, "So Scotty, what's the best thing you can do?" And we'll put that in because I know the other guys can do that.
And how old were you when you getting that sage sponge in the
Ah,
face?
I'm guessing 13,
Oh
14,
my
something
God,
like
that's
that.
so mean.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And
That's mean.
so being a dancer and then also because of being around girls, my posture, I would stand like this, with
Hmm.
my hand on,
You
my
have
hip that way.
good shirt, by the way.
But yeah, yeah, thank you. But the other thing about it was that, I had even at that age this awareness that the guys who thought they were manly, and again, we're talking 13 years old, so how
Yeah,
manly are
real
we?
macho.
On the football team or anything like that, it's like you're spending your time in a locker room with naked men. I'm spending my time with little girls in, capizios and leotards. I think I know who's made the more heterosexual choice here. Um, so that was great. And then, I was, at some cast party the first time a guy hit on me, and went to kiss me. And I went, I don't want to kiss you.
Mhm.
This surprises me. I assumed I would. Um, and it's, thought it was, maybe it's just this guy. I didn't really know him. And I was into
Right.
that. So it wasn't a friend or anything like that. Um, and then just was always interested in being with girls and never interested with being with boys. At a certain point, I went, I guess I'm straight. I, s-
Better
I
tell
know,
my
who knew?
mom.
Yes, exactly. But I still know the second verse to, Over the Rainbow and all that kind of stuff. So,
So you pass. You're a
yes,
pass.
I passed. I was at a show, someone else's show called, who's it was Adam and Steve, you know, uh, and now I can't remember the name of the show, but
Mhm.
very, very gay show.
Uh-huh.
And in it, the audience starts singing Over the Rainbow. And this was in a little club in San Francisco.
Mhm.
And when it got to the second verse and all the other gay men dropped out, I'm looking around going, how do you not know this? Yeah. So
Canon. It's part of the culture.
exactly. Yeah. So like that.
That's too
And
cool.
so did theater, as a little kid, played the drums around age 15, maybe 14, 15. Went from being on stage to being in the orchestra for these same shows for the San Jose Children's Musical Theater, the same theater I was in. And that was great. I
Well, what
actually
made you
liked,
pick up drum? I mean, I just want to point out I have a pearl set sitting next to me, a
oh,
70s
nice.
pearl set. Yeah, brand new. It's nice.
Yeah.
With my sticks right here.
Yeah,
What
nice.
made you what made you decide to bring drums into your art?
It was because I liked it better than violin.
Okay, that's
So
fair.
when we were in school and had to pick up an instrument, my grandfather taught me to play violin, and I, played that in the orchestra. But there was a chance to play drums, and it was so much better, and I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah. Us
And I
chicks always dig the drummer.
more than the violinist. Tell that to Joshua Bell and his enormous bow and cock. But the point is th- that when you're the drummer, you don't have to audition.
Yeah.
When you're in the shows, you are every 3 months, we do the next show and you have to audition, and your status sort of changes by the part you get. And that was disconcerting.
Yeah.
Um, but the drummer, you're the drummer. You're always in.
That's too
And so I
cool.
loved that. So I did that, forever. And I only sort of went back on stage in front of it in college because I saw I'd learned to juggle just on a lark, not to be a performer, didn't even, just
I
something
can't
to
even
do.
throw one piece of thing in the air without falling. So
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
no idea how to juggle. So
yeah.
that to me is an astonishing art in itself.
It's mostly timing and practice, not skill. It's
That's
not skill and coordination.
I've seen some jugglers in this world that I wonder how they are able to walk. So that
Yes,
to me,
exactly. Exactly.
that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense to me.
Yep. But the thing about juggling was I was at UC Berkeley and I saw an act called the Dr. Hot's Thermal Therapy Show featuring Neon from Now On. So a street act. So they would ride up on their unicycles and just set up and do a show. And I thought, wait, you mean you don't need a theater, you don't need to audition, you don't need a schedule, and you don't need 50 other people to do it with it? The two of you just go and do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm gonna
Anything
do
that's less
this.
of whatever the crap is, you're
Yeah.
for.
And that was and that was a turning point. So started as street performing, went from street performing to fairs and festivals to comedy clubs like that, started doing corporate events, and that's where I sort of made a name for myself, was in corporate events, because while I'm not the best juggler and I'm not the best comedian and I'm not the best writer and I'm not the best actor and I'm not the best smartest guy, when you take the Venn diagram of all those things in the middle, of all those things,
Yeah.
I'm the second best in the world because there's only two of us who are in all of those things, and the other one
You
is
just are
completely.
really just like wherever there's no competition, that's where I fit.
Yes, exactly. Um, I'm a huge believer in that. My brother is a professional wrestling journalist,
Yes.
and forever, we always said that he's the absolutely the best in the
Feel
world.
free to
He's
mention
better
his
than
name in the
David Meltzer, Dave Meltzer, and the line was, because he's better than the other one.
yeah, who doesn't exist.
Right. It was
Perfect.
Brian Alvarez was the other guy. There were two of them for a while, and like that. Now there's more people who take it seriously, but when he was doing it, he was the only one,
That's
and it's like,
amazing.
and so I'm a big believer in not getting better than everyone else at something, which is just finding the thing that you are better than ever. No matter how small, micro targeted
Whatever
you
that
have to be,
micro niche
until it's
is,
only you left.
that's amazing. There's
That's
there's so many. I just talked to Michael Rayner. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Not too long ago, he's a also Stephen Banks, Michael Rayner,
mhm.
Grant Pacocha.
I know Steven, of course. I might
Yes.
know Michael by face, but I'm not recognizing the name.
Well, he does these amazing things where he juggles with umbrellas and
Oh,
donuts.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
fun.
just astonishing
Yeah,
stuff. And we were
yeah,
talking to him, and he just basically was living in Michigan and was a street performer and wanted to
yeah,
see what happens. Next thing you know, he's at Universal Parks in Florida. So
yeah,
same kind of
yeah,
thing. He's the guy that does that.
yeah.
Um, so you had this. You also are from this kind of I would say blue blood in a way. You have smart genes. uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people call them smart genes. Some people call it autism. But but yeah, that is definitely my background.
do you think your family had anything to do with making that a part of who you are, or were you just always who you are?
I think there's two pieces of it. One is that it's what my dad valued clearly, without ever stating it. You could just see it. He did not spend time throwing a ball with us in the backyard, but when my brother was, scoring off the charts on various math things, he spent a lot of time with him and paid a lot of attention. So I competed with that, which is
Mm,
probably why I got a degree in math, was
that makes sense.
probably
And
competing with him.
not at a bad school either.
What?
Not at a bad school either.
No, no, well, yeah, good at an inexpensive school, but a quite good one, UC Berkeley. Yeah,
Yeah, excellent
yeah,
school.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But your dad is an engineer, was that right?
he was a computer programmer,
Mhm.
coming from the background of being a civil engineer. He was an IBM, a 25-year,
Yeah,
30-year
back when
IBM.
people weren't even sure what computers were going to be able to do.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
and
mean, he had it upstairs like crazy.
yeah,
I still have
oh
one
yeah,
of his little elephants sitting over there.
yeah.
Um,
And we get, looking back on it, I suspect that if they had autism diagnoses back then, I'm guessing he probably would have gotten one. My, cat says just absolutely,
yeah.
of course he would. Um, my
Here's
brother,
your
I have,
line on the spectrum. Boom.
yeah, exactly. My brother, I have no doubt,
Yeah.
who's also never gotten an official diagnosis. I'm, from my lay point of view, have no doubt. Um, my joke is if I'm not on the spectrum, you can certainly see it from here. But
Do you know what I'm
I,
finding more and more that
yeah,
more artists I talk to on the show, the more I'm
yeah,
finding that they all are, or they all
yeah,
are, a
yeah,
majority of them are on
yeah.
some sort of
And
line. Yeah.
yeah. And I think I'm not. Everybody who knows me thinks I am. It's like, standard.
But you
And
don't do the finger thing, and
I do
you
it
don't,
sometimes. I do some of this sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
OCD things. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, if it I don't like to sort of, in a sense, because it's trendy and claiming the mantle of, as without anything like that. But I certainly have a lot of characteristics in common with it, and they are things that I in general like about myself in
Right.
general.
Which
Um,
is cool. And
yeah,
you're a likable fella. So
yeah.
one of the things that has been said often about you is you're quite verbose.
Oh yeah.
I
My
was
wife said I
warned
talk more
before I
than
met
anybody's
you
ever met.
about 20, when did I meet you? Like 2000, 2001. Uh, I was warned that you could have a conversation about the word buffalo for 20 minutes.
Well, specifically about the word buffalo. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, about anything, but Buffalo's an easy one. Yeah.
Explain what buffalo.
Oh,
Explain the
just because
buffalo.
Buffalo, 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 and all the combinations of that. The only other word I know that does that, police, 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 police. Um, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what it is. If you don't, Buffalo has the interesting property that all these are complete sentences. Buffalo, like, hey, there's a buffalo.
Yeah.
And then there's also one, Buffalo, Buffalo, which is a buffalo from Buffalo. Well, that's nice. And by the way, did you know that Buffalo, 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 meaning that buffalo sometimes try to fool other buffalo? They really do. You'll see them out and out there, one, and they'll play little practical jokes on them. So Buffalo, Buffalo, Buffalo. They try to. They don't really succeed, but they try to. And Buffalo, 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 like
They're
all the time.
the
The ones from Buffalo
buffaloing
love it.
buffaloes.
And the ones they love to do it best is Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. Right. So that's the easy one. Getting to five is trivial,
Yes.
right? So Buffalo from Buffalo like to fool other Buffalo who are from Buffalo. Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. That's
Yeah.
easy. Six and above is where it gets interesting. It gets recursive. But
Okay.
once you get this, you realize that it works for any number, which is Buffalo, 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 meaning the Buffalo who like buffling Buffalo, also Buffalo, Buffalo from Buffalo. So Buffalo, that Buffalo, Buffalo, Buffalo who are buffaloed by other Buffalo, try to buffalo other Buffaloes from Buffalo. Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. And that recursion can go as long as you want. The buffalo that buffalo
It's an
like the
iterative loop.
buffalo
It
that
just
other buffalo like the buffalo. Right. And then the other word without having to go into it is police, 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 police.
yeah.
The police whose job it is to monitor the other police also police the police whose job it is to monitor the other police. Police, 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 police. Right. Or they should, but unfortunately they don't, and we've seen that too much. If you read the article in the New York Times today
Oh,
um,
yeah.
about the deaths in New York City prisons, unfortunately, police, police, police don't police enough.
There's got to be like
Yeah,
amazing like
yeah,
conversations, and this
yes,
is the Scotty I got to meet when I first
yes,
met you,
yeah.
and I knew
But I'm
that.
not on the spectrum. I'm not on the spectrum.
No,
I do
no.
not have an official diagnosis. Absolutely not. No.
What was great is that I knew that I was going to meet somebody who's 100% himself, and that's my favorite kind of person. So
Mhm.
it's like you're not putting on any shows about who you are. You are who you are. So
I think that gets easier as you get older.
I think you give a shit less about what
Yeah,
other people think.
yeah,
So it's like, what am I? Who am I impressing? You? Bleh.
right. And
Yeah,
you've tried on things, because I remember, trying on personalities like a hat, being younger, um, and lying and all those kinds of things. And it's either that it falls away, or if you fake something long enough, you become it,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
There's that. Uh, you know, we have a friend who always wanted to be seen as, an impresario of show business, an important guy like that. Um, And so, he lied about it and did that and put on all the airs, and we all laughed at him about it. But, he did it long enough that he started producing shows, and he has his own theater now and he runs it. And you got to go, you're kind of an impresario now and run your own theater. You kind of became that thing, the fake
you
it till you
put that
make it.
out there and you walked right
Yeah,
into it.
long enough. So one of the two, either you become the thing you're pretending to be, or you stop pretending and find out.
Yeah,
Um, in show business, it's really hard to be yourself because everything tells you you're always striving for that next step.
yeah,
Um, One of the things that I liked about show business in Vegas, much more than show business in LA, was that in Vegas, many, many more people were done. Like, I'm in this show, this is where I'm supposed to be.
yeah,
I'm not trying to get the next one.
yeah. They're
You know,
past that I don't have to prove anything to anybody else. I'm where I'm at.
Michael was the variety act in the Lance Burton show for 17 years, 21
That's
years. I
Michael
just saw
Goudeau for those who
Michael
are
Godot.
interested.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't,
fascinating, amazingly, and a great cook,
yeah, great guy.
sweetheart of a guy. Yeah,
And I may be getting the year wrong. He's like the longest running, variety act in Vegas. But
Yeah,
some ridiculous amount like that. And he was not in there looking for, well, what show can I get better? What casino can I go to? It's like, I'm here. What, you want to go rock climbing?
yeah, yeah. It's
Let's
like
go to
this
the
is my
Peppermill.
life. This is who I am. This is
Yeah,
my career.
right. Whereas in LA, first of all,
How are you? What can you do
the
for me?
stars are always there. No matter what level you are, there's somebody above you,
Yeah,
and you want to get to that. If you don't, there's somebody below you trying to push you out of the way. It's
yeah,
always like that. So every dinner, there's this jockeying for position and this, um, what can you do for me? And are you someone who can? And all that stuff. And, even if you're a movie star, what's the next movie? And you're not the biggest movie star.
right, right.
And you can,
How can I stay in the press longer? And how can I?
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that it made me insane living in LA. It
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you can feel it in the air. It's everywhere. And so even if it's not your friends, it's the table next to you. It's just always going on, and it's always uncomfortable. And no one is comfortable in their own skin, it feels like to me.
No, I agree, and I think that's part of the reason why. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's your
part of-
podcast.
yeah, part of the reason why I do this show is I talk to the people that I think should be household names because they are who they are. They're not who they pretend to be,
Yeah,
like Eddie
yeah.
Brill or Kathy Ladman or
Oh
even
yeah,
Sarah
yeah.
Tomko. I'm talking to Xander Berkeley in a few weeks, who is on 24 and all these other things.
Hmm.
He has a bed
Yeah,
and breakfast in Maine right now, and
yeah,
he's doing incredible artwork and he's still acting when he feels like it. I mean,
yeah,
that's the kind of people I like talking to because
yeah,
they don't have anything to prove to me.
yeah. It seems like one of the parts of show business that has that feel, and now I'm projecting because I'm not in that part of the show business, but it's just it from the guys I've met is the voiceover guys.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah,
just you don't have to be famous. You have to be known by the 11 direct casting directors who cast voiceover things.
right.
Um,
The problem is a lot of people think they can do exactly what you do,
yeah, yeah,
and that's where you get into the competition stuff.
yeah.
But I also have quite a few voice actors who've been on the show, and in fact, I've got one coming up, Tim Downey, who was in Baldur's
Mhm,
Gate. Um, and what I'm finding more and more is that they're more of a family unit than they are a
mhm.
attack unit, which I
Yeah,
think in LA it's always like an attack unit. Like you have to, if you're the black haired, red lipped gal with this type of nose, you're going up for this role. If
well, yeah, I do remember, for that, getting it was some audition for like riding a unicycle in a commercial or something like that.
yeah,
It's like we're looking for, a short, Jewy, middle-aged guy who rides a unicycle with a big nose. I was like, I think I need to go to this thing. And I'm
yeah.
in a room with just 40 other guys who are all a little shorter, a little Jewier, with a little bit of a bigger nose and better at riding unicycle.
It's just
It's
nuts.
just like, ah. And the worst thing, because it was, it was some casting agency thing, was they were also casting something for a pretty girl, some bombshell thing. And so now it's the I mean, painfully attractive women you've ever seen. I mean, so much so, every one of them uncomfortable
Yeah.
because every other one
Been
is like
food
this.
since I was 14. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that feel, um, Vegas has it less again,
Yeah.
not that it's not there at all, but it has it less.
Yeah.
Um, the trade show industry has it much less
Yeah.
because you work, because your competition is also your resource.
And yourself, your competition is also yourself most of the time.
Tell me
Like
what you mean by that.
who you worked with, like say you worked for IBM in
Hmm.
January 2023.
Oh,
That show
yes.
you did in January 23 was so good. Okay, let's see what you could do in 2026.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
basically
There,
competing with yourself.
yeah. Yeah. There's that. But the group of people in general, there are exceptions. They while we're both up for this show here, and we're trying to compete to get this contract for this show. Next week, I'm already booked, and I need someone to fill in for my other client, and I'm calling you.
Yeah,
So all the people who are competing are also hiring each other. And
right.
it's not like I hire Ken all the time and that's the relationship. Like I hire Ken and Ken hires me. Both those happen. And other times Magnet Productions and Comedy Industries are aiming for the same client.
It's very
All
symbiotic.
those things happen. Yeah.
And the same thing with voice acting too. Like if I'm doing a Korean game that's supposed to be coming out, I'm starting to record in March. If I'm working
In
in
Korean? In Korean? Please tell me it's in Korean.
it's partly in Korean.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I go 안녕하세요, which is great because I'm addicted to Korean.
Yeah.
But what's great is that like the gal that was gonna do it, she's the one who talked to me because I couldn't. I was telling her I was a fan of the game. She says, "Well, I needed a voice actor to fill in for me because I'm going off on pregnancy leave and I don't feel like
Hmm.
doing voices when I'm having a
Yeah.
baby."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
perfect for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's so bizarre about that. What do you find? Okay, let's talk about corporate entertainment a little bit because a lot of
Okay.
people don't understand what that is specifically. When I think of corporate entertainment, I think of a day job I had at Pacific Life when I was doing stand up at the Comedy Store in LA. Um, I was working Pacific Life back when they first had a website. I was one of the
Hmm.
first people that gave them a website.
Right.
And so my day job was just, sitting in an office all day making pretty things and going, "Ooh,
Hmm.
that's cool," click. Um, and then they'd say, "Well, we're going to have a weekend lunch and this people are coming in," and they talk about, the
Hmm.
7 habits of highly drunken people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they bring in somebody who had a puppet or something.
Yeah.
So what is corporate entertainment? What is that?
There seem to be sort of three major areas of corporate entertainment. The one that is most known is doing shows for company parties. So the same kind of act that you would be doing in a comedy club if you're a comedian or if you're a singer like that, they have, their own parties of whatever size, just like
Yeah,
a
like
Christmas
I know
party
that Eddie
or
Vedder played
ceremony.
somebody's
Yeah,
birthday party at Christmas. Yeah,
exactly. All those kinds of things. And they pay more money and the audiences are worse. That's the thing. So for
you
that
get
circuit,
PIA fee is what I call it,
yeah,
pain in the ass fee. Yes,
right.
yeah,
Um, and most, a lot of jugglers do that market, or could specialize in it. And there are things you can get to do to be very good at it. Um, having some TV credits, having a name helps, certainly increases your
I
price.
know that
But the,
Jack the Zipper is getting kind of out there right now. He's doing
okay,
a lot of theater. Yeah,
yeah. So that market, your competition is everyone from Barack Obama doing a speech, after it, to, you know, the passing zone to us to, every comic in the world who gets some.
yeah,
And they're generally booked through speakers bureaus who generally take a very high percentage, not like 20%, but like 40%. But they
yeah,
also charge a lot of money. So
yeah.
there's that part of the corporate entertainment. And you do it, you write a few jokes, you customize the show a little bit, for them, write a few jokes that are specific for them. You find out exactly how dirty you can and can't be, and you know
Right.
something about what is their HR policy
And
because,
absolutely don't talk about ABC vice president if they say don't talk about ABC
right.
vice president.
And absolutely talk about CDE vice president if they say to do it. Those are
Yeah.
all the things. That market is one that we are in a little bit, but it is not the one we specialize in.
Mhm.
The other kind of corporate entertainment that is common is corporate training. So this is generally
And that's,
people from improv.
yeah.
So you go in and you take the improv, all of the Keith Johnstone improv games that you learned, yes, and all the first
Oh,
class
yeah.
improv
All the
things.
Spolin games, all the, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but and also all the first week ones, like the very basic ones. Um, and you adapt those to why it's more about creativity as opposed to acting, and coming up with new and brainstorming.
Hmm.
And it's a fun day for the people who do it. Maybe it's useful for them, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a bullshit scam, maybe it's not, and depending on sort of the amount of information you actually impart. And generally, you're doing your own thing there. So you have yours, and you're selling it to as many corporations as you can,
Hmm.
and it doesn't change. So in those two parts of the market, you have your act, your shtick, and you customize it a little bit for each company.
Now that doesn't go through speakers bureaus as much as,
No, no, generally not. Generally that's I don't do those, so I don't know how the market is booked. But I
mhm.
think generally it's sort of like it helped, like the Groundlings would do that. And Second City would have a sort of like a leg that does that they get through their own name.
Yep.
Fratelli Bologna was a group that sort of specialized in that, and quite good.
Uh,
So. those two parts of the market, you take your show, you take whatever your shtick is, and you customize it a little bit for this group. You get, 5 or 6 jokes for them, something like that. The other part of the market, the part that we're in mostly, and as I said, we do some of these training sessions and we do some of these after dinner shows, but it's not where we are every week.
Sorry, somebody
Where we,
say hi.
hello,
This is Tribble.
Tribble. Hi, Tribble. I've never met Tribble before.
No, she's Trixie's little
Hi,
buddy.
hi, Trixie's little buddy.
Sorry, she
Um,
just made an appearance.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But the part of the market that we are in every week, where we spend most of our time, is where you write a custom script for this show, and
Mhm.
it's only done at this show, and it is highly customized. You know,
Yeah.
we
And don't
meet
you
with
sit down with
them,
the marketing department of whatever company it
the
is and
marketing department or the engineering department or the product manager, or if no one will talk to us, which happens all the time, we go to their website and we decide what their marketing is going to be. We try not to do that, but sometimes it
download all
happens.
their white
Yeah.
papers and
Right, exactly. But we will write, so before we will write a, this is slightly not true, it'll give you the right picture. Before we write a single joke, we write a script for them that says, this is what we were going to get across about your product, either to your customers or to your sales staff or to your investors or whatever the audience is. This is what we're going to say about yours. Got it? That's the right thing. That's what you want said.
yeah,
Now let's make it funny and interesting. Um, the other people, so that's what the market is.
right.
The difference between us and some of our competition in this market is, so you have people who are presenters in this market who either write the script themselves or have the script written for them. But either way, they stand there and they are just a better version of a spokesman for the company. So they're standing there as if they work for the company. They don't, they're actors
Sure.
giving the speech, saying we work for the company. They don't, they're actors. As if they know what they're saying. They don't.
They don't. They're
They have an
actors.
ear prompter telling them what to say.
Sure.
But they do it better than anyone who does work for the company, does know what they're saying, and isn't an actor. They're just more convincing and like that.
And that's how we got Ronald Reagan as president.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Very good at that. Yeah. Yeah. So there's that group of people. So they are all content and no entertainment value, but charisma.
Right.
you know, like that. They're not trying to do something funny. They're trying to sound like they're giving a product presentation. They're just better at it than your engineers would be.
Cool.
Um, right. Then there's the other end of it, which is like a trade show magician, someone who has their act, is customizing it, but that customization is
Throws out
often,
the t-shirts at the end of their spiel.
yeah, but also says to the company, okay, tell me three problem pain points your audience has. Tell me three ways you solve these and tell me three ways you're better than your competition. And they do. Then they get up on stage, they hand out they have three people in the audience pick a card. Each of these cards is not a playing card, it's a problem we'll help you solve. Like you've got is it the 10 of spades? It's the 10 of spades. And the 10 of spades reminds me of how, and then they say the problem. So they take an existing show and they plug the three problems, the three solutions, and the three advantages into that script.
Sure. That's
And
actually
they,
pretty smart because then you're
yeah, right,
saving the economy
yeah,
of the whole thing is just
exactly.
right on
And they
track.
either memorize that or they have it written on the back of the card that they're holding up there, and they have the script or whatever, however they do it,
Uh,
or they do a trick where they interact with a video of themselves, and the video will reveal the card, and the video is
sure.
the one that does the information because when they recorded the video, they had a teleprompter, so they didn't have to memorize it. They sent them the script. They did this. We live between these two,
Mhm.
so we write a script that is all about the product. Then we decide what should we do to make this good, to make this funny, to make this entertaining.
Mhm.
And so at that point is when we decide whether it's going to be a game show or a juggling trick or a straitjacket escape or a magic trick or a race or a race car game,
Okay, I've
or
seen a lot of what you've done in
yeah,
rehearsals and in
yeah,
your stage shows.
yeah,
So I absolutely adore this. When you're writing these scripts, though, I mean, do you play the rule of threes? Do you play? I mean, how do you write?
everything.
How do you write these scripts? How does one write a script like that? Does that just come
So
as practice?
yeah, but I mean specifically, our process is um, sometimes, not often. Sometimes we will do it in the absolute separated way that I said, that we will write what we call a treatment. So
Mm,
we will send, so depending on how much we need from them, we will write a treatment that has no jokes in it and no tricks in it. And we won't even be thinking that much about the jokes or tricks. We will send that to the client and go back and forth if we have time and say, okay, so this is what we're going to say. Then Katrina and I look at that and go, what do we want to do for this show
yeah, that's
to make it
smart.
fun and funny? Sometimes.
And you guys
More
play to their
often,
strengths, so that helps.
yeah, yeah. More often, what we do is we mix those two together. We talk about, we know what the company does. We decide what we want to do. Sometimes because the metaphor fits the thing particularly well, you know. Um,
Fire eating dragons or whatever.
exactly. If the whole thing is about, that this is a product that helps you put out fires,
Yeah,
that's what this does. All these things come up. This is a trouble ticket. This is a solution that handles trouble tickets, that automates that process. We help you put out fires. Fire eating is a damn good metaphor for that, or fire juggling,
a fire
if
juggler.
they would
Yeah.
let you do it. In most trade show settings, they wouldn't let you do that. In some other settings, they would.
Mhm.
So that's sort of how we would do that. Is we go, this is a particularly good metaphor for it. If the thing is very, the problem is very restrictive and is limiting you, and the thing is, this lets you break out of those chains. You'd go, this might be a good thing for a straitjacket escape. Now, that's when it's best, is when the metaphor to this. Other times you go, last year we juggled. This year we're going to do a straitjacket escape because we haven't done them before. We're going
Yep.
to shoehorn this information into a straitjacket escape and just, make the metaphor as tortured as possible. And sometimes it's that.
And the
When
more
that
absurd it
happens,
is, sometimes it might even work
yes,
better.
absolutely. The worse the metaphor is, the more you want to hang a bow on it and just totally acknowledge it.
Cool.
One of the jokes that I've used multiple times for this is, while escaping from a straitjacket, saying, you know, if you want to free your company from the straitjacket of restrictive tax policies, you want a stupid metaphor like this.
Yeah.
But if you want an actual solution that will, and then go on and think. So sometimes when the more tortured the metaphor, the more you have to, you know, wink. When I watch the Goes Wrong show,
Yes, which is brilliant.
oh, so good. Um, One of the things that I think is so great is there are three levels going on there. There's the character that they are playing,
Mm,
right? Then there is the actor that they are playing who's playing that character. And then there's the actual wrong boy performer who plays the actor who's playing the character, right?
right.
You see breaks all the time between the character and the actor. Constantly they're doing that joke. They never ever do the joke of that I've seen. I've never seen them do the joke where it's the underlying wrong boy performer is who you see the truth of.
Right.
So whenever one of them winks at the audience or mugs, it is the actor playing, Chris is the director.
Yeah.
I don't think his real name is Chris. I don't know what his actual name is, but let's say his name is Christopher.
Sure.
Christopher never winks at the audience. Chris does.
Yes.
And
Chris is in his, yeah.
yeah,
Christopher is in his
exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Right. And I think it's really hard to learn not to mug and wink because it works.
Right.
Because when you do it, the audience responds. So the audience will tell you that you should be breaking character and laughing at your own jokes and mugging on stage.
And have that catchphrase and
All those things. It
tropes that
isn't
they have. Yep.
right. It isn't until you see someone who's much, much better than you, or someone comes along and tells you this to not do it, that you can get to that level where, oh my gosh, how much better it is when you don't do that,
Right.
when it's more real. So there are absolute times that we resort, just absolutely resort to the, yeah, we know this is stupid and like that. But it's better when we don't.
Yeah.
It's better when we don't use that crutch. But when your knee is hurt, you use a crutch.
Yeah.
So
When your mouth
anyway,
is hurt, you put
yeah,
your foot in
exactly.
it.
So to end that part of it, so our writing process is generally Katrina and I go to a cafe, sit next to each other, talk about the the script and what the messaging we want to do, what we want to cover. We create an outline, but not on paper.
Hmm.
Usually, sometimes we do it on paper, but usually we create the outline just verbally. We sort of go, okay, so this and so those beats, and that's sort of how we want to do it. We don't talk about the individual jokes ever, but now we're talking about the product, we're talking about the messaging, we're talking about the overall. What's the trick going to be? If a trick, what's the game show going to be? What are we going to do
Final
anything
message.
as a
Yeah.
metaphor? And sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's absolutely straight, and we just are. Let's just make it funny, but do a straight presentation that's funny.
Uh,
There's no underlying shtick other than the added shtick. Once we get to that, if there is a way to divide it up, like first half, second half, if there is, then we do that, and we sit next to each other and we type. Occasionally, we run something by each other like that, and after we've typed for an hour or two, we exchange computers or email the files, and we edit each other's stuff
that makes sense.
and then put it together, and then we leave
And
with it.
just let it go.
We let it go, and we don't look at it till the next day with fresh eyes.
That's the smartest way to go, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just going to question yourself over and over, and you can bake a cake until it's crumbs.
Yeah. And your eyes get crossed and you lose perspective and you get too much in the weeds. So you come back the next day if you have the luxury. I mean,
Mm,
not everybody has the luxury of a next day, but I would think that even if you were on the high pressure of writing for a late night, for a late night show where the jokes are going on that night,
yeah,
that still after your first drafts would be a good idea to at least get up and go to the bathroom and come back
yeah. I
before you
think
let the
Laura
kids.
Kilmartin has some stories about that with
Yeah,
Conan. Yeah,
something. Do something separate. But we generally have the luxury of several days to get something out. We don't have the luxury of several weeks ever. We never have that.
have you ever had like a marketing department just, here's the script we want you to use, do this?
Yes, and I didn't. And
Good.
it's how I got into the business
I was
because
gonna say, what was your first show? What was that first entry into corporate life?
well, we were doing the kind of after dinner shows that everybody does, writing some custom stuff and like that. But that's different than the the trade show, sales meeting, training session part, the tech heavy, the heavy informational weight part
Yeah.
of it that we do now. Our first introduction to that was every juggler gets hired for one trade show because every company has some product at some point that has either three parts or that lets you balance the load or juggle your different things, right?
Appreciate,
And
appreciate,
so
appreciate. Yeah.
some uh, either production company or someone in the company or someone in the marketing part, someone says we should have a juggler. Okay,
Naturally.
that comes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So they find a juggler and they give and the juggler doesn't know what any word. The juggler does a script and he's told to do this. I want you to juggle a keyboard, a mouse, and a mouse pad because that's what we sell. And the guy learns to do it and he does it and like this. And the the scripts are terrible, the jokes are terrible, the marketing is terrible. It's all terrible.
Yeah.
So John and I got hired to do one of these for a company called Novell, who doesn't exist anymore, you
Yes.
know, where you were just going to do one of those. And we get the script from a writer, and the script has sentences in it like, we take your data and enrich it with business meaning. And it's like,
Thanks.
you you people don't talk to each other like this even.
Yeah.
Nobody says this.
Yeah.
I understand why you wrote it. I understand what you think you're saying, but this is the worst thing to say on stage.
Yeah.
And the
Freaks
jokes,
flying.
the jokes were non-existent, and the juggling tricks were uninteresting. It was like juggle these three objects. Why? Because they're three objects. And
What kind of
so,
objects? We don't know. Yeah.
because it was a computer company, Novell,
Yeah.
and because I had a degree in computer science at the time, or I was still working on my degree. I can't remember if we graduated. I'm sure we graduated already. Yeah, I don't know the year of this. So yeah, we graduated. So I had a degree in computer science. I knew what this stuff was. I knew enough about juggling from doing street show, to know what does an audience care about. They don't care about you juggling a keyboard, a mouse.
Yeah.
It's just
They want
uninteresting.
to know if you're going to drop the apple. They want to know if
Things
you're
like
going
this, right?
to
How
have
how do
the
you make this?
chainsaw hit you in the face. Yeah.
How do you make the trick interesting? And I
Yeah.
knew at least enough about comedy as like a street performing comic, so pretty hacky, but but we weren't stealing jokes. We were writing our own jokes. So I knew how to write a joke.
Yeah.
So I knew those three things, and the person who wrote it didn't. And I'm a prima donna. And I said, I'm not going to do this script. I'm not going to say this. And we rewrote it, John and I. And John, I remember saying, you can't say that. That's not what they sent us. I go, but you don't know what it does. I go, yes, I do. How do you do this? Because I'm smarter than their writer. Because I know this and they don't.
I know
And
the
he
product.
was
They don't.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I believed it. And in this case, I was right. And so we wrote an actually effective show that had the rhythm of a street show. It had a lot of mistakes in it, things that I would never do now that after doing it for
But
40
experience
years.
taught you a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like on par quality wise, with our street show. It was in the ballpark of our street show, and we had a good street show. And as marketing messaging went, communicating to somebody about what this computer system did, and it was a networking system that combined Unix, Windows, and probably Mac or something. It was that was what it did. It was how you could network these things together. And
Uh,
because I understood what those three things were and why they were difficult to do it, and because
it wasn't
I
just
was
using
enough
emulation products. Yeah.
right, and I was enough of one of the like the people in the audience. I wasn't an engineer. I wasn't working as a computer programmer, but I could have been.
Right.
All my friends were. I had that background, so
Yeah.
I was one of them. So I got up. So we got up, and we were able to talk like one of them and be funny and deliver this message. And it was so much better that instead of doing the one show for Novell that every other juggler does, when you get one trade show, you get the trade show, and then you go back and do your show.
Yeah.
We did that one. It was a big success. We did a dozen more over the next 18 months because you're at a trade show where all their competition sees you.
Mm,
And if this is successful, you have the biggest crowd. And their booth doesn't. And they're next to you and they're your competition. And they see, they go, why do they have the biggest crowd?
yeah.
Those are those guys. And so we then did 20 shows for Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, who was across the way.
Yeah.
And all of our growth in this market has not been through our own marketing. We are terrible at marketing. We work in marketing for other companies. Our marketing is shit.
You
Um,
don't have time.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't have time for promo. I'm booked.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. Which is a great marketing
yes,
statement in
exactly.
itself. That's the
Yeah.
t-shirt right
But
there.
but that was the thing. And so from that it grew. And so if somebody were to ask me now, sort of how do I break into this market? I would say I don't know how you break into this market, but
Yeah.
I know how you stay in this market and how you excel in this market. Once you're there, I can tell you exactly what to do
Yeah.
to stay
Once,
there and like that. Um, so yeah, so it was that, and then it just snowballed, and more and more of those we got. Comedy clubs book 6 months in advance,
mhm.
9 months in advance if you're doing week-long runs on the road. I mean, if you're doing one-nighters, you can show up. But I'm talking about
Yeah.
when you're booked for a week, that's sort
Yeah.
of
If you're
6 months in
opening for
advance.
so and so, or if you're middling for so and so, or
Yeah,
are
exactly.
you headlining, you have to
Yeah,
know it like a year in advance when
right.
it's when. Yeah.
They book that. Fairs book 6 to 9 months in advance like that, and festivals. And the corporate work that we did books 7 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks in advance. Okay.
Surprise! You get a
So,
gig.
and we charged 3 times as much for a week doing that than we would in these other, well, more than 3 times than a comedy club, but sort of probably 3 times
Oh,
as much as a fair and 5 times as much as a comedy club, maybe something like that. Those X numbers are pretty close, something like that. So they got to the point where he said is, if we take this fair, we will not be available that week for this. And so more and more, it's like, I don't think we can do these other markets
yeah.
as this. And so we ended up, sort of being full time in it. The the other thing about it is that many people in these markets don't like it. In the idea of, because remember I said that they pay more and the audiences are worse.
Yes. And that's
So
probably part of it. Yeah.
if you compare the laughs you get in a comedy club to the laughs you get on a trade show with you obviously not the same material because you're not going to be talking about products in a comedy club, but with
Yeah.
the
In comedy
same
club, you kind of shoot for the every 15-second laugh,
right,
from
right,
7 to 9
right.
second laugh. Yeah.
But if you take, I mean, but if I take a piece of our show, so like sometimes, like if we're doing, if we're using a juggling contest as the metaphor, anything you can do, I can do better in the same way that anyway my company does better than the competition. It was like that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a body of 90 seconds in there that's going to be straight out of our act, just the jokes between that we've done for 40 years.
Mm.
Those jokes will go over 3 times better in a comedy club than they will on a trade show. They'll go over twice as good on the streets as they will in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the trade show people are interested in products.
They're interested in the products. There's noise around you. The audiences aren't as big.
Yeah.
There's all these distractions, all these things. So some people hate it, and they go, and they just reach in their pocket and, finger the check. Go, that's why I'm here. this pays from what I really like in theater.
Uh,
But I don't feel like that because the thing that interests me most is solving the problem of whatever. How do you make this joke work? How do you make this thing? And so every week it's a different set of problems.
uh-huh.
How do I communicate this better? How do we deal with the fact that the sound isn't right here? There's an, there's a
Got to be next
pillar,
to the a carnival ride guy next to you.
right? With a joke you're going to do about that. And so I enjoy a week at a trade show almost as much as I enjoyed a week at a comedy club. Not as much, but
Mhm.
almost as much. So it wasn't like it didn't feel in the same way as selling out as, it was nice that they paid more money. That was nice. But it was mainly they were the ones who kept calling.
And you're getting a lot of companies that hire you back in year out, right? It's not,
Yes, that's the only way to do this market. You can't do this market by by trying to hook a new client, every time.
yeah,
The companies that um, we've worked for 50, 100 times. And I don't mean like 50 days. I mean like 50
50
different events,
events. Yeah,
50 different scripts, 100 different scripts.
yeah,
Um,
which could be 4 or 5 days each. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. I,
that's
you know, I,
amazing.
yeah, I mentioned Digital Equipment Corporation as a thing. I worked for Digital, who got acquired by Compaq, who got acquired by HP, who became HPE. And
Yeah,
if you add up the number of shows, different scripts, you just got the number of different scripts that I've written for Digital, Compaq, HP, HPE, 200,
wow,
probably more.
wow.
Yeah, it's
It's a
ridiculous.
biography for the family tree you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and that's the same thing as what I was saying is it's really hard to get into that market. How do you get like let's say you wanted to do a show for Apple at a trade show.
Yeah,
Apple was a new product and you wanted to go to them.
yeah.
I don't know how you do that. I
Now this
I've
is
been
this is where like people like me who've been hustling their whole lives. That's how we're really good at that. Like
yeah,
that's I'm really good at
yeah,
getting in the door. So
yeah,
other people are really good at staying in the door.
right.
I'm really
And
good
this
at
one
like
is this one
waiting
is
on,
all
getting to know
about
the secretaries
yeah,
and
this one is all about from my point of view,
yeah.
from mine is I don't know how you get in the door, but I know how you stay there for 20 years.
Yeah. And you've
Yeah.
been doing this for more than 20 years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Um,
We're well over our 20s now.
right. And the reason, and I'm gonna claim that the reason that very few of my clients are more than 20 years is not because they didn't hire us for more than 20 years. It's because
They
the
don't
companies got
exist
bought.
anymore.
The company doesn't exist anymore. And I'm working for the company who bought them,
Yeah.
like that. So it's like I have been there that long. Um,
Except you don't get the
the
company watch.
no, no, nobody, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you go and buy it, which you can't because you just did 6 trade shows.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are the pieces of the corporate market. That's the piece we're in. And again, in that sort of Venn diagram thing, to do the part that we do, that
Mhm.
Katrina and I do, um, you've got to be able to understand someone's tech. You've got to be just, book smart enough to understand someone's technology and to feel confident enough that when they send you a bad script that you can't go, well, those are their words because they're bad writers.
How did you meet Katrina and how did
Katrina
that
was
go?
Katrina was my competition. She was in another act called Grin and Barrett with a good friend of mine named Mitchell Barrett.
And she's also a drummer, by the way.
She's
And
also a drummer.
she and
Yes.
her wife are also San
Yeah.
Francisco people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we knew each other, peripherally. We were very, very friendly competition, like that for a while. And at one point, I needed someone to fill in for a show. I had a show booked that it was Sarah Felder and I were going to be booked to do it, and it was Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, and she wasn't going to work on Yom Kippur. And I went, "What? What? Fine." So, so it's like
Isn't that against all the Jewish stereotypes? You're not going to work for money when? What?
exactly, exactly. So I just needed someone. It's like Katrina could do, did the trick. She was available that weekend. It was for the Italian festival in Reno,
Which is
like an
good because
El
she's
Dorado
Danish, so she can
outside.
slide. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Um, and so it's like we'll do a couple tricks from your show, a couple tricks from my show. We've seen each other's enough. Here's the line, so it's like we'll rehearse twice. And on the drive up, it's a 4-hour drive to Reno. We'll run it a few times to get it. But basically, we'll do my unicycle routine, your whip routine like this, and we'll do and for the finale we'll pass torches. It's like this will be
That's
easy
great.
because
Yeah,
and by the end of that weekend, it's like, oh no, I just want to work with you for the rest of my life.
that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I just
Because
fell in love.
communication was there from the get-go, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that
loved it.
that's huge. That because
Yeah.
a work marriage has to be the hardest thing in the world. To be able to work with somebody for how many years now? You know,
Uh, 27 years,
happy
something
anniversary.
like that. What
Yeah.
year is it now? It's 26, so 28 years.
And
We've been
whenever
working
the
together for
phone
28
rings
years.
for those who don't know, I used to live with Scotty and his
Yeah.
bride. And whenever the phone rang, we always knew Katrina or Scotty were talking to each other. So the phone would be back and forth with them
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
Do you think we
Yep.
should do this? Okay, good. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
That would be the whole
And,
conversation.
and the fact that we had partners before this taught us a
Yeah,
couple things. These are actually, I think, a couple of useful things to anybody who's working in a partnership. Um, that if I had known, I think I would have ruined fewer people's lives. Which is when you're sitting and writing. So now let's just talk about writing comedy. You're
yeah,
writing comedy. Your goal is to be funny. We're not trying to, you're not writing a commercial.
yeah.
Something the thing we like to do most. So you're sitting down and you're writing comedy together. You're either improving it or you're at paper or whatever the thing is. And the person you're working with writes something that is shitty. And they will, because most of what we write is shitty. Most of what every comic writes is shitty. And even the
Of
ones
course, if
who,
it's not bad the first time around, you're not doing it right.
exactly. And even the ones who look like they're just brilliant all the time, they're writing a bunch of shitty stuff and not showing it to you.
Yeah.
So if you hang out with Frank Olivier and you're trying to write material for something, for a show, most of what he comes up with and tells you is going to be pretty damn good.
Mhm.
Okay. But it's not because he has a 95% hit rate and you have a 20% hit rate or a 10% hit rate or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's because he's only telling you the 5% that he thinks is good enough. And he's come up with 20 jokes that he didn't tell you. Then he told you the one that he liked.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Exactly. Same as
My
the
style.
late night
Yeah.
comedy for the writers' room and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Conan
My
and
style is to spit out all 20 of them because I'm verbose, but also because maybe it'll spark something in the other person that they'll throw back at. And
See,
also
that's
because
what
it
I
gets
like
it
to
over.
do too.
I like not having it jam at my head, and that's fine,
Yeah.
whichever your style is. But the fact is, most of what you write is shitty. Most of what I'll put it another way. Most of what you come up with is shitty.
Yeah.
When you're working with a partner, everything they come up with is shitty,
That's right.
right? And
I
when
can't believe
you
you said
right,
that.
and when you fill a page with the ideas of what you're going to do that night, you're writing for that night, and you picture yourself doing the shitty joke they came up with, and you look ahead and you know how this is going to die, and you're getting tense, and they're now writing tags on their shitty joke. And it's, oh, we'll do this and this and this. It's like, but the first one's going to die. And it's going to be shitty.
Bomb.
That the conflict there is horrendous,
Uh,
like that. And when you go through it, like you fill up a page, I'll fill up a page, or we'll both fill up the same page, and then we'll cross off what we don't like, and
yeah.
then we'll go forward, is the worst way to do it. Because every time you cross it off, you're saying, you're a bad writer. You're not funny. You suck.
Yeah.
And every time they go, oh,
Judgment,
yeah, well,
judgment,
you
judgment,
suck too.
judgment.
This isn't funny either. And so what we did was this, and this came after years and years of torturing each other, which is, okay, we're going to write, hopefully not for tonight. If you have the luxury to write for tomorrow night, that's better. If you have the luxury to write for next week or next month, even better. But let's just say that it is for tomorrow night. There are ways of doing this, even if it's tonight, if you're writing for tonight. But if it's for tomorrow night, you sit down, you go, our job right now for the next hour, next 90 minutes, is to fill up a page with ideas. Not good ideas,
No,
ideas.
it's mind toss.
Yeah, let's go this joke, this thing, this, and play it back and forth. Say it out loud, don't say it out loud, whatever you do, but fill up a page. That's the only job. Our next job is to eat lunch. Then when we come back, let's just circle the ones that we find interesting enough to go forward with today. Not the ones that are best,
Yeah.
just the ones that are interesting
Yeah.
to us. So now there's no judgment. There's no yours is shitty. And
Yeah.
the miracle that happens is all the crappy ones that you wanted to cross out, that your partner wrote that were shitty, they don't circle those. They knew they were shitty. You didn't have to tell them.
You
You just
have to
circle them.
trust.
You just circle them, you take those onto the next page, and now you write from that. And now you've got 4 ideas, 3 ideas, 1 idea, 10, whatever it is, to move forward and write tags on these. And now it's fun because these are the ones you like and they're going to be fun.
Right. Yeah.
And then your job is to go eat dinner and come back to that and now turn those ideas into the script that you're going to then rehearse and memorize and do if that's how you do it or whatever your process is. And so that's where that thing of at the end of the day, after we write our first draft with Katrina and I is, and then we stop. We don't, we then look at it the next day. By the next day, it's not always clear whose line was whose, who wrote this one. So if it's shitty the next day and you cross it out, you go, oh, let's change this one.
Yeah.
You both feel it's shitty, and there isn't this judgment of, well, your stuff is crappy. My stuff is great. Look at how
Yeah.
nicely formatted my part is. Your stuff is crappy. So that was the one thing, which is don't cross out what's bad, circle what's, and I'm not even saying good,
Yeah.
circle what you're interested
Interesting.
in,
Yeah.
what you are interested in following up on, and then move forward with that. That's just the greatest thing in the world to do.
That's cool.
And if you want to produce a ton of material, you can do what we call doing the diagonals, which is this is I'm talking like you've decided you're going to do an intense writing week.
Yeah.
Um, uh, One of the examples was getting hired to write for another act.
Okay.
So I'm going to write full time. I'm going to spend a week as a writer for you, as a director for you, as an editor for you, for your act. And we're going to do this. And in the morning, we're going to do this process of come up with some ideas. Okay. Like that.
Hmm.
Then the first afternoon, let's look at an act, a routine you already have. We'll edit it, we'll do this. And then at night, whatever. Okay. The next day, in the morning, we're going to fill up another page of new ideas. In the afternoon, we're going to look at the previous mornings and circle the ones we like to move forward with and work on some tags on those and play with them and take a little further.
Hmm.
And then at night, you know, we're going to do whatever we do. The next day, the morning, another new page of ideas. The afternoon, we look at yesterday's morning's page and circle and write tags. And at night, we take the previous days, things that we circled and wrote tags for, and we turn them into a script that's actually performable,
A usable script.
a
Sure.
usable script. Next day, morning, we do this, then that, and now we rehearse this and actually
Rehearse
start
it. Yeah, I was
performing
going
it.
to say this comes to
And
rehearsal time.
and in this one, because this was done at a uh, one of these workshopy kinds of things, there was a show you could do at night. And so by the fourth day, we're performing the stuff from here that we've done this, that we've brainstormed, circled, expanded on, scripted, and rehearsed, and now performed. That's the diagonal. And each day you're doing more of it, and the amount of material you can produce is amazing in a week or 2 weeks. Just, I mean, it's mind-boggling because you don't get stuck on the one, and the next morning it's just like new stuff. What's the new stuff?
Huh.
You know?
That's amazing.
And then the next step you can put on is, oh, and let's watch the performance from last night and direct it and edit it. What worked? What are we going
Yeah.
forward with? And the diagonal just goes longer and longer. If you don't want to do it with this sort of intense 1 week thing, you can do that every week with your
Yeah.
partner. And it takes a year to do it instead. But the process is, you know, brainstorm, circle, expand, write, rehearse, perform, edit, improve. But not, but you don't, but it isn't this way where you do it
Yeah.
this and then you get all the way to the end, you have one routine. It's diagonal. So you keep doing it.
It just keeps
So
adding on. Yeah.
you've always got a new piece that is like if you do a open mic
Right.
every week you've got a piece, not that you know
Repeated from previous week, but
repeated
something you
previous week,
built
but
on.
also, but not that you started that morning and did this. It's like you've
Yeah.
got a piece that really feels ready. You've rehearsed that one, and you've got a closer in it that was the week from the week before that worked. That now you're trying a different way.
Yeah. Very Josh Johnson. Very,
Yeah,
very, very
yeah.
Josh Johnson.
Oh my God, the amount of material he produces. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
I know. I live on
breathtaking.
YouTube just to watch him.
Yeah,
He does
breathtaking.
brilliant.
He's our generation's Mort Saul.
I absolutely agree with you. I
Yeah,
absolutely agree with you.
I love him. I love
Yeah,
him.
he is
And
worship.
he got so much praise from the first the hosting he did on the Daily Show the
Taylor, he
first
should
time.
be the regular host. He
Yeah, the
absolutely
New
should
York
be.
Times thing that covered him on that was just so glowing, and I thought he deserved every bit of it. Not
Yeah.
to say the others aren't great. Desi Leidig is a genius
Oh, I mean,
performer.
they're all great.
Yeah,
He just stands out as somebody who's amazing. He is what
yeah,
Jon Stewart was when he was doing his
yeah,
spiel the first time around. I mean, he
yeah,
is
yeah. He's
amazing.
got
And again, he's
stunning
one of those
voice.
people that
Yeah,
you see him doing the Gotham City
yeah,
YouTube videos.
right.
the first night
But
before a performance.
I don't think he's using a structure or anything like what I'm talking
No,
about.
I
I don't
think,
think
but I think he's
because
just
of the style of
rebuilding
it.
and rebuilding and rebuilding and
Yeah,
rebuilding, rebuilding.
I think he's doing it much more the more Saul way of doing it, which is you know, I'm going to take the topic and
Ride it.
what can I do with this topic, and I'm going to trust my own skills.
Yeah.
This is more. This is less about you couldn't do what I'm describing for a late night show because the stuff at this end, the brainstorming has to be on that night. You
Right. And
can't
you also have to
you
have
can't
the
stack it up.
personality built together. Like you guys end up working together so much that you communicate a language that
Yeah,
other people wouldn't get
yeah,
necessarily.
yeah.
Oh,
The
we're
other
gonna do
thing,
that. We're gonna do unicycle 5. Oh yeah, yeah, I know that one.
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
The other thing that we do that is really unusual, and I don't know if other people can implement this, but it was a big difference, which is the way we disagree all the time, all the time. We
It's
disagree on
hilarious watching you guys work together because it's like, how do
yeah,
you guys? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We disagree on whether a joke should go in, how long it should be, the order of
uh,
things. We disagree constantly on things,
if
and
it's
we
a
have to
man
make it.
against woman thing, or if
Yeah,
it's yeah.
right. And we have to make a decision because we can only do it one way. And if you are doing something for your act, the decision you can make is let's try it your way for a week, let's try it my way for a week, and then let's
Yeah.
just see.
You can't be
And there,
stubborn.
right. But you have that luxury. Let's try it your way for a week, let's try it my way for a week. And maybe the audience will tell you the answer. Maybe
Mhm.
you'll agree after that. But we don't have that luxury because so often what we're going to do is one time. We're going to do this
Yeah.
show. We're going to do this joke once. We wrote it for this audience, for this night, and it's never going to be done again. Or we're going to do it for these 3 days. And we don't have
Mhm.
the luxury to go with the multiple ways. So we still have to make a decision. Or it's a decision about like whether something's going to be in the show or not. We can't try them sometimes.
Mhm.
And so the way we decide is we don't alternate. We don't, we said, well, you won last time this. We just look at each other and decide who cares more about this. And whoever cares more, that's
That's
what we
what
do.
goes with.
And we don't cheat that. And we know what it is. It's like, and we give our, like we argue over it.
Mhm.
I think the joke is better this way. I think the joke is better this way. Okay, I listen to you. You're right. I'm done.
Yeah.
Both of us will do. Yeah, you're right. Let's do it that way. Or I don't care. Let's do it that way, which is
You
the
know what I
important one.
mean? Yeah.
Neither of us care about getting our own way to win the balance of who got their own way the most times.
Yeah.
That
It's
sort of
not a
balance.
brother sister fight of who does mom like best. Yeah.
Yeah, I always defer to you. It's not fair. We don't have that,
Yeah.
and we don't abuse this one. So a little bit, there's sort of if it's an argument about how a line should be worded, and it's a duo act. So
Mhm.
one of them is going to do the line. Well, that person has a practical veto because they're on stage and they can say the line anyway they damn well feel. So
Yeah.
you kind of mirror to that. We go, well, you're the one who has to do the line, so let's do it your way.
Yeah.
There's that. But on things that aren't like that, that are more global, more between the two of us, after we've gone through and given a reason, and either convinced the person or didn't, when it's clear we didn't convince the other person, the next step is just who cares more.
Yeah.
You
And
care more, I'm done.
who feels like they've got the right for the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the phrases that you will hear us say a lot, other than fuck you, is I disagree, let's do it your way.
Yeah.
Like time to move on.
Yeah.
And those two things, not crossing out the other person's joke and and having this, knowing that neither of us abuses this, we've never had a fight. Almost never had a fight.
Yeah.
We've had a
Not
lot of
not a fight
arguments.
that other people would assume is a
We've had
fight.
a lot of arguments. We argue
Yeah, but
constantly,
not fighting. Yeah.
but we never fight.
Yeah.
We never fight.
That's marriage. That is a
Yeah, yeah,
marriage. It's
yeah,
absolutely perfect.
yeah.
Scotty,
Although my real wife and I, we do have fights,
yeah, but you're
and
hilarious about it.
yeah, and I had to learn because I was really uncomfortable with fighting. I had to learn that going through a fight can lead you to the other side being actually better than avoiding the fight.
Yeah.
That one thing, just knowing that you can get through a fight and let go of it, that makes you feel safer. Like you don't have to always avoid them.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not the end of
so
the world. It's not the end of the relationship.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's really hard for me. That's something that Kat taught me specifically, and being together taught me. I
Yeah,
don't know that I've fully learned it. I still am uncomfortable with it, you know. But
you guys are
so
still awesome to me.
yeah, so my thing here was not saying it's interesting to me that Katrina and I never fight, but if we did, it would be how do you do that and then move on, let go. And it was just that one thing was that way of making decisions has worked out very well for us.
Excellent. Excellent. I adore you, Scotty. You know I adore you. And Kat as well, your bride, and Katrina and her bride. I love all you guys. And I miss living with y'all's and you
Yeah,
like family to me, as you know, well
yeah.
know. And yes, I'm sending you popcorn.
Oh,
Um,
good. I
yeah.
love the pop. I love the annual
Also,
popcorn.
oh
Oh,
wait,
I love
also,
it.
yeah, I know I always say for the new for Christmas and New Year's and Hanukkah
Oh,
or whatever the heck anybody celebrates, I send them.
I love it.
Wait, you got to see your other thing you're getting. Let me
Let me see.
this is
A
I'm gonna
plastic bag.
open up. Yes,
It's
it
a
has to put
space
over your head.
helmet. Yeah.
This is the here we go. The antisocial.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, I
And
don't.
Zoom is cutting it out. It won't show it because it
Oh,
doesn't
of
have your
course
face in it.
not.
Yes,
Here we go.
the
The
antisocial. Oh, that's
antisocial.
great. Auntie's
Yeah,
favorite. Oh, thank
yes.
you.
So
That'll be
everybody,
fun. That'll be
everybody
fun.
who's on the guest list gets an antisocial favorite.
Yay.
Yay. But you are awesome. We should have another chat sometime and we'll talk about other stuff that you're really good at, like the music video work you did with Primus and all these other weird stories that we could
Oh, that was fun.
like living on
Yeah.
the and doing stuff on the piers and down in the
Yep.
park and stuff down in Santa Cruz. Get
Well,
lots of stuff to talk about.
the key to variety acts is variety.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. Stay on for just a sec. Everybody, this has been the Antisocial Hour-ish show. This has been
Ish.
Scotty.
Clearly ish.
Always, always. We're either,
Yeah.
too short or too long.
Yeah.
This has been Scotty Meltzer from Comedy Industries, and you guys check out his website. The links will be below, and we will see you again next week. Well, I won't. You'll see me.
Yes.
I'll see that again.